Winter wonders. Expert tips for planting and growing flowering bulbs indoors and outdoors. While many gardeners associate the vibrant display of flowering bulbs with the arrival of spring, the groundwork for these seasonal beauties begins much earlier, during the cooler months of fall and winter. Understanding the right techniques for planting bulbs can significantly impact their growth and blooming potential. Experts Peggy and Montgomery, a horticulturist with flowerbulbs.com, and Jake Davies Robertson, Arboretum Supervisor at Kew Gardens, share invaluable insights on how to successfully plant and care for flowering bulbs in winter, whether outdoors or indoors. Timing is crucial, planting before the freeze. One of the primary considerations for planting bulbs during winter is timing. According to Montgomery, you can plant bulbs outdoors in winter as long as the ground hasn't frozen. Ideally, bulbs should be planted several weeks before the ground freezes to allow them to establish roots. Jake Davies Robertson emphasizes the advantages of planting spring-flowering bulbs in the autumn months when conditions are milder. This allows the bulbs time to settle in and develop roots before the harsh winter cold sets in, he explains. However, for those who may have missed the autumn planting window, all hope is not lost. If the ground has already frozen, bulbs can still be grown indoors, providing an alternative route to enjoy the beauty of spring blooms. Forcing bulbs indoors, a practical approach. For gardeners whose outdoor planting options are limited due to frost, forcing bulbs indoors is a highly effective method. Many cold-hardy spring bulbs, such as tulips, daffodils, crocus, and hyacinths, can be planted in pots to bloom indoors in late winter. Bulbs need time in the cold before they bloom, Montgomery explains. You can buy pre-chilled bulbs, or chill them yourself to simulate winter conditions. To ensure successful indoor growth, it is essential to select the right varieties. Montgomery advises that smaller bulbs tend to work better in pots, as they do not grow too tall and are less likely to topple over. Recommended varieties include miniature daffodils, shorter tulip types, hyacinths, crocus, muscari, dwarf iris, and anemones. Planting techniques for indoor bulbs. When planting bulbs indoors, spacing is key. Montgomery recommends planting bulbs close together to create a lush display. In a 6-inch pot, for example, one could fit approximately 6 tulip bulbs, 3 hyacinths, or 6 daffodils. Here's a simple guide to planting. 1. Use a clean clay or plastic pot with drainage holes. 2. Fill the pot about 1/3 full with well-draining potting mix. 3. Position the bulbs in the soil with their pointed ends facing up, ensuring they are placed close together. 4. Cover smaller bulbs with about 1/2 inch of soil and larger bulbs up to their tips. 5. Water the bulbs thoroughly after planting. The importance of a cold period. For spring flowering bulbs to thrive, they require a cold period to initiate root development. Montgomery suggests placing pots outdoors to allow natural cold conditions to do the work, potentially insulating them with leaves or mulch to keep them safe from rodents. Alternatively, bulbs can also chill indoors in a cold garage, basement, or refrigerator. However, if using a refrigerator, it's crucial to keep bulbs away from fruit, as the ethylene gas emitted by ripening fruit can negatively affect bulb growth. Monitoring and transitioning bulbs. During the cold chilling period, it's important to check the moisture level of the soil every few weeks. Montgomery notes that the presence of roots is a better indicator of potential blooming than visible sprouts. Toward the end of the cold period, check to see if the bulbs have put down roots, she advises. Once the bulbs have undergone the necessary chilling period, they should be brought indoors and placed in a cool, sunny spot. Montgomery states that after emerging from their cold environment, the bulbs will typically bloom within 2 to 4 weeks. However, she cautions that indoor blooms may not last as long as those grown outdoors. After the indoor blooming phase concludes, gardeners can attempt to plant the smaller bulbs outside, potentially allowing them to thrive in the garden for future seasons. Preparing for spring's floral display. Engaging in the planting and care of flowering bulbs during the winter months not only prepares gardeners for a magnificent spring display, but also provides a fulfilling gardening experience throughout the colder season. With expert guidance from horticulturists like Peggy and Montgomery and Jake Davies Robertson, anyone can successfully navigate the challenges of growing bulbs indoors and outdoors. By understanding the importance of timing, proper planting techniques, and the need for a chilling period, gardeners can look forward to a kaleidoscope of colors and fragrances as spring unfolds.